Once you have a few good ideas, the most important thing that comes up is the question, who are my partners in this? Because you need to get those ideas out into the world. I'm a really lucky guy. I'm a guy who is pretty good at coming up with ideas and doing the soft skills stuff. But for years and years and years, I've been struggling, I guess you would say, because there was no possible way to measure the impact or the effect of what I did, except people felt better and they actually worked better. And then eventually, if you waited long enough, you could get the measurements of outstanding outcomes. But it wasn't reproducible. It wasn't scientific, so to speak. A few years ago, I met a guy named Wayne Clancy. Wayne Clancy had developed an algorithm that I realized, once I understood what it was, that this was a way of measuring people that I had been looking for over 20 years. Most of the measurement and analytic tools and profiles actually slice and dice the sectors of what you do. So you know how to effectively work with this group of people or that group of people or that group of people. I'm speaking directly to people who are using Myers-Briggs or the DISC profile or the Harrison profile, things like that. Very good, interesting tools of the 20th century. Wayne had come up with a tool for the 21st century. This was something that did a job that no other algorithm I had seen done, which is it actually collected and found from the outliers and the people of differing points of view and differing backgrounds and differing maybe religious points of view or political points of view, people who are all over the range. It actually measures what it is that they have in common. And the stunning thing that we discovered was that if you take people who even have extreme political views on one side or the other and are clear that they cannot work with each other, that when you actually take and measure into this trip that my partner has going on, we find that about 80 to 85% of the things that are going on with them and are important to them are stuff, are initiatives, are actions that they can take that they're already aligned on. Now, what is the advantage of this? Well, if you happen to be a manager and you're dealing with a tough situation with people from lots of different backgrounds, you can actually look at the dashboard of it and you can actually look at the outcomes of it, and you can see, they actually will all work on this together and this together and this together, and you can actually begin to design the progress that you're going to make working with your group of people. Why is this important to me? Because this is something that sets up an environment for partnership. It sets up an environment for people partnering with people who they normally would not even talk to. And actually what it does is it sets up an environment for fulfillment at work and for extraordinary results. So my primary partner in this engagement is somebody, again, who knew that I ran into through an introduction to another guy, and who had a tool that, generally speaking, I wouldn't have looked at. But when Wayne began to talk to me about what it was, I began to see the dynamicism, the power, and the all-around utility of putting people together, getting them working together and being able to measure it, to be able to predict where it's going, and to measure it as it goes along all the way to the completion of whatever the initiative is. So my primary partner is Wayne Clancy. My secondary partners are everybody that I get the privilege of working with.